He tells us in verse 5, remember from where you have fallen. Jesus is, I believe, calling upon us to remember the moment when we discover the grace of God in Christ. Remember the moment of your salvation. Remember the moment when you realized the depth of your own sin, when you realized all that Christ had accomplished for you on the cross. That moment when there was a clear recognition that all you were was a sinner and Christ was your only hope of salvation. You see, again, I think that the more and more we move on from the moment of salvation and the more we do for the Lord, if we're not careful, we start to think we're something. And instead of being blessed to have Christ, we start to think that Christ is blessed to have us. And folks, the key to maintaining a love relationship with Christ is never forgetting the gospel that saved you. Never forgetting the love of God that reached down in Christ and saved a wretched sinner like you and me. Yeah, I think it was really one of the keys of David's life and his devotion to Christ is he never got over the fact that he was simply a sinner saved by grace. In fact, if you read, I was reminded of 2 Samuel 23, at the end of David's life, it's kind of like David's swan song. It's not his last words, but he's gathering his family in, and there's a lot there. But I love the one thing that David really tells his family that he wants to be remembered by. He says, this is how I want you to remember me, as the sweet psalmist of Israel. David said, he looking at his family and he says, just remember this, I was a worshiper. I loved God. David was a great warrior, but that wasn't how he wanted to be remembered. He was a great judge, but that was not how he wanted to be remembered. He just wanted his family to know that I'm just a man who owes it all to God, and I love him.